The BJP just did what nobody, absolutely nobody, believed was possible. It captured West Bengal. A state that resisted it for decades. A state that chewed up and spat out every challenge to Mamata Banerjee's iron grip. 207 seats. Mamata lost her own constituency. And then, the American president issued a statement from the White House congratulating Modi. Not a tweet. A formal White House statement. And within hours, a sitting Indian member of parliament wrote a letter to Trump, asking him to take it back. Let that sink in. An Indian MP. Writing to a foreign president. About an Indian election. Welcome to BharatLens. Today we are covering three stories that have collided into one extraordinary moment in Indian politics. First, the Bengal earthquake. What happened, why it matters, and what it means for India's political map. Second, the Trump factor. Why did the American president issue a formal statement about a state election in India, and what does that tell us about where the Modi-Trump relationship actually stands today? And third, the Sanjay Raut letter. An Indian opposition MP writing to a foreign head of state to question an Indian election result. What is the logic? What is the risk? And what does this tell us about the state of Indian opposition politics? This is the full picture. Let's go. West Bengal has fallen. And that sentence, just 4 words, contains an entire chapter of Indian political history. For 15 years, Mamata Banerjee ran West Bengal as her personal kingdom. She dismantled the left front. She built an organization that was so deeply embedded in every block, every panchayat, every neighborhood that the BJP, despite its national dominance, could not crack it. In 2021, when BJP threw everything it had at Bengal, Modi visited dozens of times, the entire party apparatus was deployed, Mamata won comfortably with 213 seats. She mocked the BJP. She said Bengal would never bow. She called BJP workers outsiders. 5 years later, the outsiders are in power. The final tally, BJP wins 207 seats in a 294-seat assembly. The majority mark is 148. BJP crossed it and kept going. The TMC, which governed this state with what felt like an unbreakable mandate, has been reduced to just 80 seats. From 213 to 80. That is not a defeat. That is a collapse. And then came the moment that will be replayed in Indian political history for decades. Bhabanipur. The constituency that Mamata Banerjee had won and re-won and made her personal symbol. The seat from which she ran her government. Her home ground. BJP Suvendu Adhikari defeated her there by over 15,000 votes. The chief minister of West Bengal lost her own seat. She is now not just out of power, she is out of the assembly. The scale of this result needs context. West Bengal is not just any state. It is the 4th largest state in India by population. It is a border state, sharing borders with Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and China. It has been a left and then a regional stronghold for over 40 years. The BJP has never formed a government here since independence. This is the first time. And they did not just scrape through. They won by 70 seats above the majority mark. 22 of the 35 TMC ministers who contested lost their seats. The party's vote share collapsed across districts that were once its bedrock. Anti-incumbency, law and order concerns, the post-Pahalgam national security wave, and years of grassroots BJP work across the state, all of it converged in one verdict. Now here is where it gets geopolitically interesting. The moment the results were confirmed, the White House issued a formal statement. Not a casual social media post. A statement attributed to White House spokesperson Kush Desai, released to media organizations around the world. It said, and this is the exact framing, that the president had expressed admiration for Modi on a call last month and described him as one of the leaders he most respected. And it added that the president congratulates Prime Minister Modi on this recent, historic, and decisive election victory. Stop and think about what just happened. An American president issued a formal White House statement congratulating the leader of the world's largest democracy on winning a state election. Not a national election. A state election. One of 28. This is genuinely unprecedented. American presidents do not routinely issue statements about assembly elections in India. They respond to general elections, the Lok Sabha. They respond to major governance transitions. But a state election, even a significant one, does not typically trigger a White House statement. So why did this happen? There are 2 ways to read it. The first reading is the straightforward one. The Modi-Trump personal relationship has been rebuilt after months of strain. The trade deal framework, however incomplete, was agreed. Modi stopped buying Russian oil. Trump called Modi one of his greatest friends. The White House statement is an expression of that personal warmth, Trump using the Bengal result as another opportunity to publicly reinforce his bond with Modi and signal to the world that America and India are aligned. The second reading is more strategic. The Trump administration has been watching India's domestic politics very carefully, particularly any challenge to Modi's authority that could complicate bilateral relations. A strong BJP showing in state elections, Bengal, Assam, Puducherry, consolidates Modi's domestic position, making him an even more powerful and stable partner for Washington. A congratulatory statement from the White House is not just a gesture of friendship. It is an acknowledgement that Trump wants a strong Modi at the helm of India for as long as possible. Either way, the statement happened. And it ignited a firestorm. Now we get to the part of this story that BharatLens cannot gloss over. Because it is not a small thing. It is a very revealing thing. Sanjay Raut, Rajya Sabha MP from Shiv Sena UBT, Fordham Member of Parliament, a senior figure in the India bloc opposition, wrote an open letter to Donald Trump. He tagged the American president on social media. He told Trump that the Bengal elections were conducted under an atmosphere of fear, intimidation, and systemic pressure. He alleged that the Election Commission did not act impartially. He questioned whether Trump had considered these concerns before issuing his congratulations. And he urged Trump, the president of another country, to adopt a more informed and balanced view of India's elections. Let us be very precise about what Raut did. He took an internal Indian electoral dispute, legitimate or not, and escalated it to a foreign head of state. He effectively asked an American president to reconsider endorsing an Indian election outcome. He invited foreign commentary on the integrity of India's democratic institutions. And he did this publicly, on social media, for the world to see. The internet responded with fury. And on this particular point, the fury is not without justification. Here is the irony that Raut's own critics were quickest to point out. Sanjay Raut represents a bloc that has spent years, rightly, objecting to foreign interference in Indian affairs. The same political space that was outraged when Canadian politicians met Khalistani separatists, when American senators questioned India's elections, when international media published what it considered biased coverage of Indian democracy. That same political space now has one of its own senior members writing directly to an American president asking him to question an Indian election result. Raut himself tried to walk it back slightly, suggesting in a press statement that he believed the news about Trump's congratulations might be false, implying his letter was a response to the reports rather than the statement itself. That explanation did not convince many. The letter was posted publicly. The US president was tagged. The allegations were made on the international record. Now, let us be fair. The election itself has generated real controversy that deserves to be taken seriously within India's own institutions. Mamata Banerjee has alleged large-scale irregularities. She said more than 100 seats were stolen. She accused the Election Commission of acting partially. There are questions about the special intensive revision process, a voter roll verification exercise rolled out before the election, that critics say resulted in deletions from electoral rolls that disproportionately affected certain communities. These are serious allegations. They deserve investigation. They deserve scrutiny. In a democracy, losing parties raising questions about conduct is normal and healthy. But here is the critical distinction Raut missed, or chose to ignore. The forum for those challenges is India's Election Commission. India's courts. India's parliament. India's press. Not the White House. Not the American president. Not an open letter tagged to a foreign head of state on social media. By writing to Trump, Raut did not strengthen the opposition's case. He weakened it. He handed the ruling party a narrative gift, the image of an opposition leader appealing to a foreign power to validate domestic political grievances. That image will be used against the India bloc in every election for the next 2 years. It will be cited every time someone questions opposition patriotism. It has already become a meme, a headline, and a talking point that overshadows whatever legitimate concerns existed about the Bengal election process. And there is a deeper problem. If Indian opposition leaders write to foreign presidents when they lose elections, what stops foreign governments from eventually weighing in, not just with congratulations but with actual pressure? What stops that from becoming a pattern? What stops India's elections from becoming internationally contested in the way that elections in fragile democracies often are? India is not a fragile democracy. It is the world's largest. Its election disputes should be resolved within its own institutions, vigorously, loudly, and completely. Never through foreign capitals. Let us now zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Because Trump's statement is not just about Bengal. It is a signal. 3 months ago, the Modi-Trump relationship was at its lowest point in years. Trump had publicly claimed credit for stopping a war India did not want him to stop. He had called India a hellhole and a dead economy. He had slapped a 50% tariff on Indian goods, more than he imposed on China. He had praised Pakistan's army chief by name. The relationship was genuinely strained. Modi was furious. Indian foreign policy circles were recalibrating. Then came the trade deal framework in February. Then came India's concessions on Russian oil. Then came Modi's public praise of Trump's leadership. And now, a White House statement congratulating Modi on Bengal. The pattern is clear. The relationship is being rebuilt, carefully, incrementally, with both sides choosing public gestures that signal warmth. The Bengal statement is one of those gestures. It costs Trump nothing. It gives Modi a global optics win. It reinforces the narrative that the world's most powerful democracy endorses India's democratic outcomes. But here is what India must watch carefully. Trump's endorsements are transactional. He congratulated Modi because Modi is useful to him right now, on trade, on Ukraine, on the Iran situation, on containing China. If the trade deal falls apart, if India refuses to align with American positions on key issues, if the personal chemistry between the two leaders cools, the congratulatory statements stop. And they might be replaced by something far less friendly. India's relationship with the United States must be built on strategic and economic foundations, not on the warmth of personal relationships between leaders that can shift with any election or any phone call. Bengal gives Modi a stronger domestic position. A stronger domestic position gives Modi more room to negotiate with Washington from a position of confidence rather than dependence. That is the real dividend of the Bengal result, not the Trump statement, but what a stronger Modi means for India's ability to deal with America on its own terms. Bengal has been won. A 15-year political era has ended. The BJP has completed its Eastern India project and added the fourth largest state in the country to its governing coalition. That is an enormous political fact, and it will shape Indian governance, Indian economics, and Indian geopolitics for years to come. Trump's congratulation was diplomatic theater. Warm, unprecedented, and entirely consistent with how this American president operates, personal, transactional, and always connected to a larger strategic calculation. Read it for what it is. And Sanjay Raut's letter? It is a cautionary tale about what happens when domestic political frustration overrides strategic judgment. Elections are won and lost on the ground. Their legitimacy is decided in courts and commissions. Writing to foreign presidents about domestic election disputes is not opposition politics. It is a gift to your opponents. Here is the question I leave you with today. West Bengal is the most diverse, the most complex, the most historically layered state in India. A BJP government there, for the first time in history, will face challenges that no BJP government anywhere else has faced. Governance in Bengal is not like governance in Gujarat or Uttar Pradesh. The culture is different. The politics is different. The people have a long memory. Can the BJP govern Bengal, or has it only captured it? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if BharatLens cuts through the noise for you, subscribe. This is the lens through which India sees the world.